Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, just making a quick video to talk about the Total War Warhammer 2 development update that CA just put out. It's essentially covering what's coming up in the next 2 months, in addition to the whole Norsca debacle, and finally giving us a concrete answer on what happened. So, I'm going to be blunt with you guys, it's not good news. It's nice that they're finally just cutting to the quick of it and not beating around the bush anymore. But if you're really hoping to get Norsca like very soon, you better settle in for some disappointment. So basically, 90% of this thread or blog is CA explaining what happened and answering basically some major complaints that people have been leveling at them, many of which are fair, but some of which are a little much. You know, they're talking about everything before, like why aren't they putting more people on the Norsca teams? Why aren't they doing patches more frequently? Which the more frequent patches thing is kind of a weird thing to me. Like monthly patches seems the norm for most games, but it seems like people really just want it like weekly patches, but that's just not going to happen with this kind of game. So let's talk about Norsca first. So essentially, Norsca's not coming out till May. That is what this little paragraph here is, with this May at the beginning. You can miss this if you're not reading carefully. I missed this the first time I read through it. I was just reading, I was like, and then I saw everyone talking about May, and I was like, where did they say May? And it's because they started the paragraph off by month. So the long story short is that CA screwed up. They dunked up real hard. And the way that they were planning to move Norsca from Game 1 into Mortal Empires completely blew up in their face. Because they basically were using a shortcut, or a cheat code almost, to try and just sort of slap it in there. And because of the way Norsca was developed, and because they took a lot of risks with Norsca and made it really iconic and really unique, which is why a lot of people really like it, also made it so that it did not decide to play by their rules and completely self-destructed. And essentially just cannot be put into Mortal Empires in its current form. It won't work at all. Like, it completely destroys the game if you try and do it, apparently. So basically, the reason that we have to wait until May is because, from what I understand, CA literally has to do Norsca from practically scratch. So they're going to have to completely redo Norsca, which is so sucky for everybody involved. It's really sucky for them because they basically have to do months of development work for free, essentially, because they have to completely do it over, but you know, obviously they're not going to charge anything for it more than what you paid for Norsca in Game 1. But at the same time, it sucks for us because this means that that's development time and content creators who are dedicated to completely redoing stuff they've already done, which really sucks. Every hour that goes into Norsca is an hour that should have been going into another project for Total War Warhammer. So that just blows for everybody. Like, there's no winners there. It just sucks. But unfortunately, that's the way the cards have fell. I don't know if this was because CA was trying to do it an easy way and it finally caught up with them, or if it was it's hard to understand exactly, for me at least, exactly what went wrong. They explain it, but it's hard to conceptualize very easily, in my opinion. But at least we have an answer now. I am grateful that CA has finally just come forward and said, alright, we screwed up, we're sorry. You know, they admit they made a mistake, they tell us what happened, and they said, okay, we're gonna redo it so that it's working, perfect, flawless, and we guarantee at the latest it'll be out by May. There's really not much else we can ask them for. They also seem to be implying that there's going to be updates to aspects of the race, including techs, New World race interactions. So that probably sounds like they're going to add content to Norsca as well, probably to make up for the time, because, I mean, that means, see, Norsca came out in, like, October, I think. So that means, see if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now, and then you go back November, October. So Norsca came out in September, I think, actually. So Norsca's pretty much been delayed for Mortal Empires for like 8 months, which is rough for a lot of people because Norsca was kind of advertised as the bridge between Game 1 and Game 2, which means that they were advertised as a kind of Mortal Empires thing. Because, you know, if you pre-ordered Game 2, you got Norsca for free. That being said, it's not like anybody got ripped off, in my opinion, because Norsca is still a fantastic DLC, and you can still play them and really enjoy them, and they're awesome in Game 1. They're just not in the Mortal Empires race yet, and the biggest thing for a lot of people is probably the multiplayer community, missing out on the Regiments of Renown, because they're not coming till May as well. Because for some reason they're being tied in with Norsca, which that one I'm still kind of weirded out by. Like, it feels like developing the Regiments of Renown would be much easier, and I kind of wish they would split this up into 2 different patches, like how they kind of gave us the Reprisal update to give us all the Foundation updates that are non-DLC, so like all the just updates to the Game 1 races. I kind of wish they would split the 30th Regiments of Renown up into their own little thing and release that in, like, you know, March or February or however long it would take, and then have the full Norsca release later. It feels weird to continue binding this particular DLC to Norsca. But in any event, that's the situation we're in right now. It does suck, but I'm not angry about it. It's unfortunate, but that's really all you can say about it, is it's unfortunate. I really hope people are not going to overreact and just dig into CA with everything, all the vitriol that they can manage, because literally there's nothing more you could ask for in this kind of situation. Like, they made a mistake, they owned up to it, they're providing us a solution, and they, you know, gave some updates, and they communicated with us, and are promising to fix it, and we'll hold them to that. If May comes around and Norsca ends up being terrible or poorly implemented, or, you know, is just a poor release, then yes, then everyone has the right and should just absolutely destroy, you know, tear into CA with everything they have. But that's not the case we're in, and I really doubt that's going to be the case we're in, because I'm pretty sure CA is already exhausted by the beating they've taken from the community. So I hope people will take this opportunity to kind of calm down and take a deep breath and realize it sucks, but it sucks for them just as much as it sucks for us. It probably sucks worse for them because of the amount of hours that they're going to have to put in for no benefit. But they're doing it because they have to. I mean, it's the right thing to do, and they're doing it. So, it's unfortunate, but hopefully we can all kind of move past Norsca now and start looking to the future, and get excited about the things that are coming up soon. For instance, they said that in December, they're going to reveal it later this week, we are getting a new free highly experimental game mode. I have no idea what that means. It clearly is the free LC, the Experiment, which I was really hoping was a Game 1 free LC, but, you know, but in the Game 2 schedule. But unfortunately, it's a new game mode. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this could imply. Like, I'm almost wondering if, like, is there going to be like a tower defense mode or something? But hopefully it's fun or interesting or creative. If it's highly experimental, that means it's probably going to be kind of wild. That's not usually something I care about. I tend to just prefer new content over anything else. So I'm not super enthused about this, but I have an open mind. We'll see what it is. Of course, the Reprisal update will be exiting beta and getting all of its tweaks and being released, you know, full on. So it'll just be part of the base game, which is very, very nice. Because it fixes a lot of little problems. It takes care of a few more bugs. It really helps with the... I think it's the Bretonia campaign that had some serious issues that this fixes, and it also makes all of the Game 1 lords actually playable, in my opinion. Then in January, they say their first campaign pack is coming out, which I think a campaign pack is a racial DLC. I think campaign pack is the dumbest thing you can call it because it's a really British way to say that. And when I say that, British, in my experience, British people tend to word things overly confusing. Like, maybe it's an American thing. I just like things to be really blunt and descriptive and not like fancy sounding. This comes off as fancy sounding, and I don't actually feel confident in saying that it's a racial DLC, because a campaign pack almost seems to imply like a new, completely new campaign, like almost like a map or something, which we know it's not that. And they even say it's a hugely characterful and significant addition to both Eye of the Vortex and Mortal Empire. So all signs point to it being a racial DLC, but they give it this really dumb name. I don't know, maybe it's just a CA thing. It's like, what? In any event, so it was planned for this year, but it has been pushed back to January. In my opinion, this is probably due to Norsca controversy, rather than development issues, if I had to guess. But they don't really seem to comment on that. They just kind of say it was backed up to January, and they say not to seem too cryptic. So that's a pun, because CA really likes puns to a concerningly and unhealthy degree, and they need an intervention to stop making puns, because puns are terrible. But crypt seems to infer undead. The only undead faction we're missing is Tomb Kings, so hopefully that means in the new year we're getting Tomb Kings. I would really like if we could get a trailer announcement, though, in December for that. Like a month before would be great. So, should be close. In any event, that's basically everything. It's looking like Tomb Kings, what I assume to be Tomb Kings, because I don't know who else could be cryptic, unless it was like Demons of Zinch or something, but that doesn't make sense. So, new race coming in January, December. So this month, the Reprisal update will go live, and which is in beta right now, but it'll go, live this month. In addition to this new experimental game mode, which will be announced later this week. And then all the way in May, at the end of spring, when Texas is already getting really hot again, we will get Norsca and the 30th Regiment of Renowns. I'm hoping that maybe we could convince CA to prioritize the 30th Regiments of Renown. But I wonder if they're like, well, it's the 30, so you have to have all 30, and I'm sitting there in the back like, can we just get the 24 interesting ones, please? Like, yeah, Norsca's cool and all, but I actually like the Regiments of Renown more than I like Norsca. And, like, this may not be a popular opinion, but quite frankly, I am relieved that this is Norsca it happened to, and not one of the core 16 factions of the game. If this had been, like, Tomb Kings or Demons of Chaos or something, oh my god, it would have been awful. It would have been awful. So I'm glad it's the only minor faction we have in the game, if it had to be one of them. And I'm glad that this happened now, so that it never happens again. Like, could you imagine if we had gone into Warhammer 3 and, like, the entirety of Warhammer 3 wasn't able to be implemented? Like, there would have been riots in the streets. So, once again, it sucks for everyone involved, but I hope we can all realize that we're kind of in this together, and it sucks for them just as much as it sucks for us. So, you don't need to be spewing bile or just tearing into CA's flesh or anything. Like, we all get it. It's been like a solid month of people punching CA in the nuts, essentially. So I hope everyone can kind of relax and move forward. I would like, the hype trains are coming back for whatever this campaign pack is in January, as the first true DLC for Game 2, and so on and so forth. Which is, man, it's weird how it feels like it's been ages since Game 2 came out, and it's only been out for like a month and a half. But it feels like it's been forever. So, I don't know, maybe it's just this year's been kind of slow. So in any event, I hope you guys are all having a great day. I have a new Lord video that'll be coming out very soon, probably today or tomorrow for patrons, and then it'll release publicly probably on like Friday. So if you want to see it before everyone else gets to and have the joy of commenting first or whatever the hell that fad is, or more importantly, patrons get to view it without ads. So if you want to watch videos without advertisements, consider becoming a Patreon. Just saying. In any event, thank you all for watching so much. I will also have a live stream schedule coming out soon. I'm probably going to be streaming 5 days a week, but we will see. I'm not promising that yet. We'll see what happens. So, hope you all have a great day. It sucks about Norsca, but it's the situation we're in. So hopefully CA will make it up to the community by making sure that Norsca is flawless. It has to be flawless. And hopefully there's also plenty of new, like the tech tree's got a bunch of new stuff added to it, and maybe like a bunch of new voice lines so they interact with all the factions, and they're gonna have to be gorgeous and really well done to give the community the kind of I'm sorry. For this all to have meaning. CA has the right to redeem themselves, and I really hope they take advantage of it and blow our socks off. But in any event, that's enough for today. I hope you all are having a great day and are looking forward to more videos coming soon. Thanks. See you all around. Bye.